Hey, this is Rachel. I am bored this Saturday night, and I just thought I'd come on and do a Google Hangout. I think my daughter is on her way here, uh, but I don't know. She is trying to find my page, so I'm going to wait for her for a little bit. And whoever is here, thanks for joining me. I'm just bored, y'all. I've been asleep half the day, um, and that left me wide awake. So let me just figure out how to send the link to my daughter, and then I'll be back. Can you hear me, Em? Can you hear me? I'm just sitting up here bored, and I was like, I'm going to try to do a hangout. I was wondering, like, I don't know, child, how to get it where you can talk. I've been trying that forever, and I never get it right. What were you doing? What you doing, Em? Let me see if I can invite you where you could just talk. That picture that you have is kind of old, isn't it? Are you playing video games? Where's Ron? There's an Amber King that looks like you. I'm not sure this is you, though, before I invite this person. Let me see. Is that you? Do you have a different picture on here? I don't know. You watching me on TV? Has your roommate been there? Amber, I'm gonna send you a link. Let me see if you can click on it. I don't know if this works. You know you're gonna have to clean that up before you move out. You're gonna have to tell her that it has to be, because it has to be the same way that it was when you moved in. You know how when we move in or move out of a house, we clean it. We come back in and clean it, because if you don't, you're not gonna get your deposit back. Yeah, it's not fair, but if you don't clean it, you're not going to get your deposit back. You need to get with her and let her know she needs to start cleaning, because what day do you move out on? Because what they do is that if the house is not clean when you move out and your name is on the lease too, they're going to, if they have to have like clean it and they charge for it, they're going to charge you. When you move out and your name is on the lease too, they're gonna, if they have to have like clean it and they charge for it, they're gonna charge you. When you move out and your name is on the lease too, they're gonna, if they have to have like clean it and they charge for it, they're gonna charge you. When you move out and your name is on the lease too, they're gonna, if they have to have like clean it and they charge for it, they're... Say something, Am.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I know it seems unfair, but yeah, if you don't clean it, they are definitely going to charge you for it.
Yeah, when I came in, there was a bunch of flies and stuff like all around the door, like those mini gnats, and she like never took her trash out. So she's been gone almost as long as I've been gone, and just left her trash in there. So there was a whole bunch of bugs and stuff.
In the kitchen?
Yeah, in the kitchen. There's bugs in the kitchen, and then there's ants all on the floor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like everything is just. And I ended up taking out her trash because the bugs were getting really bad in the house in general. We had to spray everything down. It was bad.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's disgusting. She gets on my nerves just for that reason.
Well, at least you only got a few weeks to go. Then you'll have the roommate that you want, and it won't be. It'll be what you want it to be.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's like what it is having a roommate. I remember when I was in college, my first roommate, she was junky, but I kind of got her together, and our rooms were like double. Well, when we were in the dorm, our rooms were like double what yours was when you were in the dorm.
mhm.
And I could literally be on the way that we set the beds up first. We were in bunk beds like you were, and then we separated the bunk beds, and I was like across the room. So I got her together about keeping the room clean because she was like, she drank and she would save all these old beer bottles and she put them in the window. And, like when the sun came in, it was heating up the funk of beer in the windowsill, and it had the whole room smelling like beer. And and then she would take and put, like, she would clean her ears with Q-tips, and then she would drop the dirty Cupid in the beer bottles. Man, that shit looked so disgusting. And eventually I had to get her together about keeping the room clean. But that's like the pitfalls of having a roommate.
Yeah, like I thought it was gonna be nice, but because she said that she would keep it clean, we talked about it for hours on hours about making sure that the house stayed clean. And if I didn't clean it, she didn't even think about it. And then she had the nerve to invite her family up and stuff.
While you were there?
I mean, yeah, I was here, but like it's just crazy because I'm like, aren't y'all ashamed of her? Like,
You know what? Maybe they used to her being nasty. I would have let them know that it wasn't me, though. I know that.
no, I kept my door closed because it's oh crap. If they if they're okay with it, then more power to them. They're not about it.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Man, I see two people here. I don't know who this other person is. I'm gonna put the link in and I'm gonna see if they want to join.
whoa,
I did when I was working.
huh?
I said I'm typing like I did when I was working,
You do that.
but it won't. It's not like a long term typing. What's that noise in the background? That's Ron playing the game.
Yeah, we're both playing the same game on different consoles. So, oh no,
I finally learned how to do this Hangout stuff.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. It only took me, what, 20 years?
Yeah,
That,
it's fun.
that is hilarious.
Yeah. I mean,
Lord.
it's a new concept,
Uh, say it again.
but it's fine because it's a new concept.
You're breaking up.
I said it's fine though because it was a new concept. Like Google's still trying to figure out kinks and everything.
No, everybody else seemed to know how to do it. It was just me. Um, oh, this is the guy from Cleveland. Let me tell him, hey, Cleveland.
Can you hear the both of us? I didn't hear me.
Yeah,
No.
I said he can hear the both of us.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it is. Let me just tell everybody who you are and why we're talking. So this is my daughter. She was, I had already said that you were working this summer here, and about your job, not being able to find a job, where you are. Um, oh my God, he pulled a muscle. You want to join the conversation, sir? Or are you just here listening to me and my daughter chit chatting? But anyway, yeah. Yeah, I had told everybody about you finding a job here and being here for summer, but this weekend, you staying the whole weekend down there?
I'll probably come back early tomorrow. Not like super early because I'm gonna pack up uh my stuff, a couple things, and then come down.
When do you actually move into your other apartment?
The lease is like our lease begins August 12th. My lease ends here August 8th. So I don't know what I'm doing with my stuff for them 4 days. We set it outside the apartment.
You're silly. You
I'm gonna
won't have nothing when you come
put it right
back.
door. Be like, don't touch this, please.
Well, let me just tell it because it looks like somebody else is here. So what we're talking about is my daughter went back to her apartment in the college town that she lives in, and she has a roommate, and the roommate is dirty. And my daughter been gone. You've been gone. You haven't been back to visit for like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah. And when she went back, the house is their apartment is filthy and there's bugs flying all over everywhere. And my daughter says she is not cleaning anything because she did not make the mess. But what I was trying to explain to her is that when you move out, though, if you don't clean, you're not getting your deposit back for sure. It's not like you can tell them that it's her mess because, like, what you gonna do? Clean half the apartment and be like, look at the part that I clean? How
Yep.
you gonna do that?
Yep. When they send back the deposit, I'm gonna take the half that I deserve, the 170 I'm supposed to have. That was one of the reasons why I came down here because they're giving us the deposit in one lump sum. They said dividing it.
I'm telling you, they're not. Trust and believe, they're not going to give that deposit back if you don't clean the apartment. You're going to have to talk to her about getting that apartment clean.
I did. She said that she's willing to clean it, but she acts like that all this is new. And like, I don't know. I feel like I
You're going
should.
to have to get you're going to have to get buckets, bleach, mopping floors, cleaning bathrooms. Like when I walk through, it's basically like when I was there, it just looked like you need to mop and clean up the kitchen and like clean the bathrooms and just vacuum through and stuff.
Yeah, that's not me though. I
Like
pretty
you get a whole bunch of rooms. You got 2 bedrooms, a living room, kitchen. She just need to get in that kitchen and really clean everything.
She's not gonna. That's what's making me mad. We'll clean up what's mine, and then whatever's left, if they give us, because like at least up here, they don't take your whole deposit. I don't know, like if that's what they were doing in Columbus. They don't take the whole thing. They take like what they feel they needed to fix whatever it is, and then they send back whatever else. So last time they lost money on their deposit because she was breaking, her and her roommates was breaking stuff in the house, so they had to, fix it. I was saying, well, if they say that they needed to clean stuff and I cleaned my part and you didn't clean your part, whatever they send back, I'm getting my half that I was supposed to get.
I don't know. I don't know because roommate that I had was dirty, and then the other one was clean, but she was a drug addict. Remember I told you she used to be sitting around her and her friends doing cocaine and acid and shit, and I didn't really stay in the room with her. And they used to be smoking reefer and all that stuff in the room. And then my other friends had told me like if the room got busted, then I would be in trouble with her, even though it wasn't me. So what I did is I tried to stay with, like, I literally would only come back to the room to change my clothes, get other clothes. Eventually, I think one time she was gone for the weekend, and when she came back, I was like, you know what, this is crazy because I'm up here staying with other people, in their rooms, and I got this big huge room because then this other room that I was in with the roommate that was the drug addict, it probably was 3 times the size of the dorm rooms that you had. So it was a real nice room, but I couldn't stay in there because she literally thought if she wet a towel and stuffed it under the door that you couldn't smell the weed outside the room. Then I would come back, and then her and her friends would be in there, I guess, all high, looking at, staring at the wall and shit. Remember, I told you I came back one time, and they was sitting there in the dark, staring at the wall, stripping, and I was like, I'm out, because they all was high.
Yeah.
She even had her roommate, like her cousin, mail her some coke from Florida in the envelope. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Definitely would have got.
So huh?
She definitely would have got caught now.
I can't hear you.
She definitely would have been caught now.
Yeah, she was ridiculous. And I spent probably a third of that semester not even really staying in the room. Like I said, I only went back to get clothes, to change, because I basically was staying with this one girl that I had met that was from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Actually, we friends on Facebook now. And I pretty much stayed with her because she's the one that told me that, like, if the room got busted, I would get out of college too.
Yep.
So those was my experiences at Kent State, man. That shit was crazy. And I'm telling you, my first roommate, she was messy, and plus she was a hooker and all kinds of stuff. She had naked pictures of men on the wall, and when her parents came up to visit, she forgot to take them down, and they was looking at me all crazy like it was me. And I was thinking to myself, every picture that's up there is of white men. That is not my forte. That's your daughter. She's a freak. You know, you be wanting to say, that's your daughter. I mean, she had them on her bed, taped up all over everywhere. Was Had a subscription to Play Girl. You know how they got like Playboy? She had a subscription to Play Girl, and then she would cut out pictures and hang them up all over the room. And I don't know how she forgot when her parents came up there. I'm telling you, Al, it was so funny. You know how little those dorm rooms are. It was like her mother and father, they was older. And then it was like her sister and some cousins. And I think it was her grandmother. It was all these naked pictures all on the bed, on our mirror. Because like our dressers were, you know how like when you were at where you at, like everything was separate. At Kent State, the dressers were in the same area, so we like shared a mirror. um she had them on her side of the mirror. I was like, Lord. So her parents were standing there looking all stupid. And I was looking at them stupid too. Like, look at the pictures. Those are white boys. That's not my shit. Your daughter's a freak. You be wanting to say that. But yeah, after a while, but see, I got along with the roommates. Um, but after a while, my first roommate, I got her together. The second roommate, by her being like on drugs and stuff. Remember, I told you that her friend, they were so strung out that her friend put like a in her ear and dyed her hair black and stuff. And she was pulling the safety pin, and like till her ear started bleeding. It was looking all nasty. And she was doing all that stuff because she was high.
Yeah. Then you
And
say she
then
was like super pretty or something like that?
yeah, she was real pretty. And then all I know, the next time I saw her, she was a blonde haired girl, and the next time I saw her, she had dyed her hair black. You wouldn't even recognize her. She was so messed up that all the other people call her parents, like her friends called her parents to come and get her. Do you know when her parents came and got her, they walked right past her. They didn't even know who she was.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what that stuff had done to her, but it's like it fried her brain, because even when she wasn't high, she was acting all crazy and stuff. I tell you, I did not stay in there with them white girls. I was out. I was out. I was like, and then also I didn't keep no food in the refrigerator. Like we shared a refrigerator because you could rent a refrigerator from the school. You know how you can do that? And I used to always be worried that they might, as a joke, put some shit in my food, and I'd be in there swinging from the chandeliers or something. So I never ate anything in the refrigerator. Like if it was something I just went down to the cafeteria and bought, and you know how you like eat half of it and you're gonna eat the other half
Yeah.
a little later.
Yeah.
And then I would watch her crazy ass, make sure she didn't put nothing in my food. Now my friend, now this to show you how the type of black girls that we were, they were fucking with us. So my friend was like, "Girl, you should spit all in her food and her yogurt and blow your nose in it and all that." I was like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Right.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's not me. I just won't be staying in here with this heifer. But yeah, roommates could be a trip. But I don't know, girl. You might have to help her, unless she bring her boyfriend to help.
She better do that. I'm not doing it. Like Ron, it was Ron's idea to take the trash out because the bugs were so bad. We could barely
Ew.
fit in my room.
Was it smelling in the house when you opened the door?
Yeah, it's always smelling though. 'Cause her trash and stuff. You know how she's vegan,
Wow.
so we had to take the trash out, and we had to spray all that stuff in the room. You know, I'm choking and stuff because
Did the bugs leave?
I haven't seen any actually. Like I haven't seen. We killed like one as soon as we came back in, but other than that,
Was
you know,
was it like crawling bugs or just flying bugs?
there was ants and there were those gnats.
You said ants and what? And gnats?
Yeah,
Gnats? God.
yeah.
Well, you learned your lesson. To be honest, when I dropped you off and me and Scott was leaving, I didn't think it was going to work. I should have, when you told me you were moving with her, I was like, I don't think this going to work. But I didn't say anything because you grown and you gotta bump your head. But for some reason I didn't think it was gonna work. Even the way she moved in, it was like crazy and rushed and not. So I thought it was, I don't know, I just, as a parent, I didn't think it was gonna work. But I know if I would have said something when you told me that you and her was gonna move together, you wouldn't have believed me. So I said, well, she gonna have to see
It's not even that though.
herself.
It's not even. I mean, we talked about everything. She would have just held up her bargain. You know,
Work though.
huh?
Say it again.
I said if she just would have done what she said she was gonna do, we would have been fine. Like
You
getting
know why I didn't work? I didn't think it was going to work. Let me tell you why. You remember when you were telling me about different stuff with her and other people, before you actually moved with her? You remember?
yeah,
So when you told me about all that, and I know you, going to work. Literally, you could ask Scott when we were driving away. I was like, Scott, I don't think that shit going to work. And Scott was like, well, it's her friend. And a lot of times, what's weird, because you remember how I told you when I worked at Cedar Point and I had lived with my friend, like we were friends when we were at Kent State. I liked her, but we didn't live together, like we weren't roommates. And then when we went to work for Cedar Point, we were roommates. And at the end of it, she wanted to beat my ass and I wanted to beat her ass. Hey, one time I was asleep and she woke me up, and I don't even know if I should be telling you this since you're my child, but she woke me up and she was like, do I mind if her and her boyfriend have sex? I was like, what?
yes, I might.
You're like, wait a minute. I said, well, first of all, I was asleep. And if you had done it, I probably wouldn't even know. But now that you done woke me up, hell to the no. I said, first of all, I don't want him spending the night, because actually we shared a room. It's not like we had separate rooms. We just had two beds. The way Cedar Point set up, it's like, you remember I told you it was like 5 bedrooms in the apartment and then 2 big bathrooms.
Yeah.
So we actually shared a room. Her bed was just, it was a window in between our two beds. So it wasn't like, you know, she was down the hall or something. So I was telling her that I didn't appreciate her boyfriend spending the night because, you know, we shut our door and this guy, I mean, he's in there with both of us. It would be different if she had her own room. So pretty much it's summer and I had to be walking around the room with shorts on or long pants because he was spending the night all the time. So we got in an argument, and then she started staying with him, you know, away from Cedar Point Apartments. I mean, literally, we would be in our room sometime, and he would come and knock on the window, and we would be laying there, you know, dressed up to go back to work, sleep, and he would knock on the window. And first of all, by him not working at Cedar Point, it basically was like he was trespassing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she would let him climb in the window because you had to sign the people in that didn't work at Cedar Point.
Yeah.
And because he was like a town, you know how y'all call the people that actually live in Bowling Green townies. He was
Yeah.
like a townie, and so because she didn't sign him in, it would have got us both in trouble.
Yeah.
And
That's
and then he was ugly, and he had a twin brother. And I think what made us fall out is I didn't think he was attractive. He looked like a goon to me. And he had a twin brother, and she wanted me to double date with her and a twin brother. And I made a mistake. Now, mind you, they were identical twins, and I made a mistake. No, I don't live in Cleveland, DJ Wolf. I live in Columbus. But she tried to hook me up with the twin brother, and I made a mistake and was like, he ugly. Now, mind you, they are identical. So when I said he was ugly, she realized what I thought of her boyfriend.
yeah.
And then after that, you know, she didn't like me anymore, you know. And then remember, I told you I was dating this guy. What kind of like dating this guy? And I guess he came over one time when I wasn't there, and I guess she like pass at him and this guy, huh? Dating this guy,
Whoa.
and
I was trying to look at your YouTube page, but started talking to you.
what are you looking at on my YouTube page?
I just wanted to see if I like who was commenting and stuff, but because I'm on the Google Hangout, it's like feeding back.
It's a few people here now. This is me and my daughter chatting. If you want to join our chat, we just talking about roommates because she's going through roommate hell. And what would you call it, hell, Em?
What'd you say?
I said you were going through roommate hell, and I was asking you, would you call it hell, or is it just my description of what you're going through?
I would say that all the roommates that this is the first experience and
You're breaking up.
I said that I feel like this is the worst experience I've had because we were friends, we talked about it before we moved in, and it just didn't work out. So yeah, I guess I would call it that.
Well, sometimes, like I said, it doesn't work out when you live with friends because you really get to see who they are. You might like when you're just hanging out, you don't really know a person until you actually live with them, you know.
Yeah.
So her true colors came out, you know, being messy. You know, I don't understand how somebody could be chopping up vegetables and fruit and all that stuff and leave the juice laying all around and not take out garbage. I just, you know, some people are raised different. That's all.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So she just maybe that's why she doesn't go home. Maybe that's why she aggravated her parents because, you know, she's messy.
Maybe.
And when she moves with other people, she's gonna have the same problem unless she moves with somebody else that's, you know, that's messy too.
Yeah.
That's the only way it's gonna work.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
But you only got, huh?
I'd be interested to see that. You
But you
know.
only got a like a few weeks, and then you won't be living with her anymore, and then you can, you know. But I'm telling you, if that apartment is not clean, you can forget your lease. I mean, your money back.
But
Because I don't know how you're going to explain to them, like I said, that, okay, half the apartment is clean. I cleaned that, so give me my money. And then the other part is messy. That's her side. You see the people saying they hope you get your money back.
no, I told you I can't see your YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, um, let me see. Uh, one person is saying Cleveland is no longer the same great city it once was. Downtown is the new Cleveland, while the rest of the city is in total disarray. Well, um, DJ Wolf, my brother lives in Euclid, so when I come into Cleveland or when we drive into Cleveland, we really don't go through the city. We go straight to, get off on Babbitt. I know you know where Babbitt is, where Euclid Mall used to be. We get off there, and we go to, where my brother lives in Euclid. Um, the only time I actually go in the city is if I want some Cleveland food. I know you did a video about Polish boys and all of that stuff. So the only time we really go down in the city is if we want um some food, like if we want a corned beef sandwich. And then even with that, by my brother living in Euclid, like he'll tell me different places in Euclid to go to get Cleveland food. So like I think my brother lives like on 250 or 60 something in Euclid. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Um, Down one of those streets. He owns a house there. So we don't really get a chance to go down in the city. Now, my grandmother lives down in the city. And it's funny because, like, in my mother's house, and I'll be telling my uncle that I'm leaving, he'll say stuff like, let me walk you to your car. And my car is parked in her driveway. And I was telling my uncle, oh, no, you don't have to walk me to my car. The car is in the driveway. He was like, no, Rachel, Cleveland has changed. It's very dangerous, and we're going to walk you to your car. And I think he has a gun when he's walking me to the car. I don't try to look. I just, get in the car. And a lot of times, like the last time I was there, my uncle actually talked to me until I got on the freeway. And what's weird is because I haven't lived in Cleveland so long, I get turned around. So I kind of got lost, like where to get on the freeway at. I forgot that, where I was driving to, there was no freeway. I ended up having to drive through Bracknell, and I'm pretty sure you know what Bracknell is. I drove through Bracknell, and then I was going to get on the freeway up there, but then I was like, forget it. I might as well just take Lakeshore all the way out to where my brother lived. It was a long drive, but my kids, they would never move back to Cleveland. First of all, my daughter been gone so long. Amber, you barely have a memory of Cleveland, do you?
All I remember is the park and
You said the park and what?
the candy store.
The candy store. You silly. Well, our store?
Yep. Yeah, that's all I remember.
Yeah, and Scott, he just basically remembers our neighborhood because he was 15 when he left. He really didn't get outside the neighborhood, so he don't remember anything either. But yeah, my daughter, they're asking where you are. She's away at college. We live in Ohio. She goes to Bowling Green. Well, you're not in school now. You just hanging out for the weekend.
Yeah, I got my schedule by the way. I'm gonna be in class from 6 a.m. until 8, or no, from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Wow. You're gonna have to find a job when you're down there. Oh, you said you get off. Let's see. He said that when he goes home, he gets off. I used to live one street from Eddie Road. What was 123rd in St. Clair when I was younger. Oh, I was real young. I probably was like 21, 19, 20, 21 when I lived over there. It is so different now. Cleveland got so many chokeholds. It's not even funny. I some of my friends posting stuff on Facebook showing their tires torn up because they drove through East Cleveland. And I think it's really bad over there. I haven't been in East Cleveland in so long. It's not even funny. But yeah, we got some people from California, a person from California in here, Amber.
California love. Tupac.
Did any of you go see All Eyes on Me? Anybody that's watching? Amber, you still haven't seen it, have you?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Me and Scott went, and what I'll say about the movie is this. Okay, so it's not bad, but it does tell some parts of his life that you already knew. It's not let's see, what's this person saying? Is this the daughter? Yeah, this I only have one. I have one daughter. I have two kids, a daughter and a son. So yeah, this is the daughter. This is the way at school. Yeah, and I did the video about college. Yeah, I was telling them our college struggles. But yeah, the movie is not. It's not bad, not at all. But it doesn't, like, just like they say, it doesn't tell you anything new about him. The main thing that I liked is the guy that they have playing him does look in certain scenes. Um, he does look. You'll catch he looks just like him. And because both of you haven't seen the movie, I'm not gonna go into the scene that he really looked a lot like him. But I had told my son when I left the movie theater that it just made me sad because when you think about it, he was only 25 when he was killed, and it makes you wonder, like, what he would have been like and what type of music that he would have made had he lived longer and got a chance to have some life under him where he could have put that life into his music. Because I didn't realize that he was, as deep as he was. Like I said, I admitted in my video, I just liked the music. I really didn't know the man. I just loved all his songs. So, because I tell you, and when me and Scott went about Tupac, it was like he was young when I was young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me stuff like after we had watched the movie. And when I'm talking about Scott, y'all, I'm talking about my son. Like after we had went and watched the movie, we had went and had dinner, and Scott was telling me all this stuff about Biggie and everything. How he didn't. Scott said that I didn't even know Tupac was around with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z was Jay-Z. See, I'm not a rap person. Was Jay-Z around when Tupac was alive?
Yeah,
I don't know.
he was. He just wasn't as big.
Um, Yeah, he was explaining like stuff about Snoop and Tupac, and I don't care what nobody say. The person that they got playing Snoop, that was not his voice. That was Snoop's voice. I think they dubbed Snoop voice over the actor, which I think is stupid. They should have just used the actor's voice when he was talking, and when it was the rapping part, just use Snoop's voice because that was awkward, you know because everybody was like, "Oh, he sounds just like Snoop." It wasn't that he sounded just like him; that was Snoop. Because there's no way that boy um sound that much like Snoop. But yeah. Oh, you said they're telling me that Jay-Z was around. He just got bigger after Tupac died.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. See, that I'm not Scott. I realized when I was there, Scott was a rap Tupac historian because I was sitting there and I was like, how did you know all this? Because if Tupac died in 96, Scott was only like 10 or 11 years old. But what he said is that because, music kept coming out of Tupac's, that, he ended up liking him. And then he did all this research on him and was watching all these videos and interviews that Tupac did. And he read poetry that Tupac wrote. I was like, boy, I didn't even know you were doing all this because he knew so much about him. I'm telling you, all I knew was the words to the damn songs. And then what's funny is when I think of Hail Mary, and I remember being in the club when I was younger, the beginning part of the song, I used to be in there dancing and singing the songs, didn't care. I just think I liked his style and I just liked his deep voice and all the bass in his music.
Yeah, his music.
So yeah, huh?
Yeah, he has really great music.
When I left the theater, I found myself being sad, and not because I don't know, I think I was sad at the loss of him and what he could have done if he had lived.
Yeah, it's just like the movie Sonia.
And then also too, you know how I always say, like, when these rappers they get famous but they still got their feet in the streets.
Yeah,
That's what took him out of here. He should have just concentrated on his music, left all them. Oh, he said his son is a big rap and R&B too. Scott is too. He should have left all that feuding and street life alone because he was on. He wasn't even on the way up. He was up. He didn't need all that. To show you that his importance is 20 years later and we're still talking about him.
yeah,
And he was only 25. It wasn't like he lived till he was in his 50s and he had this whole big long life. He only lived 25 years.
yeah,
He was a little bit older than you, Am.
yeah. No, that's what makes it really weird. Couldn't imagine being dead in 3 years.
Well, actually, yeah. He was yeah, everybody is saying he was huge. He I don't even like rap, but I liked him. And it's weird because when I listen to some of the words, how he's cussing and all that stuff. But ever remember when your friend was in the car and I had Tupac playing and they was tripping? You
Yeah,
remember that? You said that your friends were stripping because I was singing all hard and stuff.
yeah. Was it Chris?
I think it was Chris, yeah. And he was cracking up because I had Tupac thumping.
Yeah,
Y'all could barely hear him. I didn't care. I love that man.
great music.
But it was good. What y'all think of y'all president? I don't even call him mine. He not my president. He a damn fool. That man is so crazy. It is not even funny. The presidency into like a what? Like a I don't know. Like they don't want they act like a clan, like not clan KLAN, like CLAN. They're clannish. Like he only wants people that are loyal to him, his kids around him, in positions that's so important. The man is a fucking Looney Tune. And it kills me that the people that voted for him, no matter what he does, they are still in his corner. The shit is crazy to me.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Say what?
I didn't vote for him.
I didn't either. If I would have accidentally pushed his name, I would still be in there trying to correct it. Ah, damn asshole. And then he got an aging Barbie by his side. He act like he married to his daughter though.
Yeah,
He is a cult leader. Huh?
he's kind of weird about his relationship with his daughter.
It is weird. It's odd. It's like he not that I'm saying that his You know, he shouldn't love his kids and all that stuff. But it's like his wife takes a burner to his daughter, you know, and it's just an odd relationship. And then I really don't think the lady feeling him all like that.
I agree.
He, he'll he'll never resign, DJ Wolf. He's too arrogant to resign. They're gonna have to impeach him. And y'all, what's funny is the other day I was thinking about this. I said, okay, um, just say they impeach him. I think they're gonna have to send the National Guard in there to drag his ass out. I don't think he would leave voluntarily. They literally would physically have to drag his ass out of there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think they would have to drag his ass out of there kicking and screaming. You know, it's weird. I didn't like President Bush, but, and I hate to say the word hate, but I hate intensely Donald Trump. I don't think I hated Bush. I don't think I hated him. I just totally disliked everything that he stood for. But something about Donald Trump, it makes me hate him. He just seemed like he gonna get America in some big trouble. You know, I don't know what it is, but I just got this feeling that he gonna get us into some shit that we have never been in before. Cause he is a Looney Tune, and then he got all these yes men around him that don't check his ass. You know, and then he basically is doing whatever he wants. Y'all, that man is so drunk with power. You know the ego that he has, and think about it. And now he president of the United States. See, Bush wasn't Bush's father the head of the CIA, and then he was vice president, and then he was president. So Bush actually had, you know, he grew up around power like that. Donald Trump, y'all got to just think he was just a what a real estate. What was he?
I don't know.
He said,
All I know is he was from You're Fired, that TV show.
yeah, and then plus he was a real estate mogul or whatever. Somebody said they wish they could slap the grease off his face. I want to, I don't, oh, I can't stand him. I cannot stand the man. And you know, I don't listen to nothing he say. Amber, you know how I feel about him. I said that I thought he was damn antichrist. When he come on television talking, I don't even listen. I cut that shit down in case he's sending some subliminal shit, and I don't want to get it. I don't listen to nothing he say. I'll listen to the recap of what he said, but Rachel is not listening because something about him is not right,
Yeah,
and he is a spoiled. He a big baby.
yeah, I think it's crazy now that everybody's talking about him cheating.
Yeah, he tweet more than like he tweet like a teenager, like a young person.
Mhm.
Punk ass. He is a big old punk. And then he's supposed to be going to meet with Putin next week. That's gonna be fun. I will be watching that. Yeah, he is a racist and a bitch. He really is. But I will be watching when he goes to meet with Putin because that's gonna be interesting to see his friend. This is not, it's not like they meeting for the first time. All his connections that everybody around him got to Putin, that is not a coincidence. Yeah, I did see him tell her she had a pretty smile. One of the people on here, they're talking about it was a reporter in his office, a little blonde girl from Australia or someplace. I forgot where she was from, but he was trying to flirt with his old bloated orange weird hair. His hair, I swear to God, y'all, his hair is yellow like a damn cartoon character. It's not even blonde, it's yellow. And then the style looks like he been standing in front of a fan and it blew his hair onto the front. I can't stand that, man. I really cannot. And then I know the wife married him years ago, but I did not even see how she stands to look at his ass. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, he disgusts me.
I see.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
Amber, do you know about this rapper by the name, what's that? Kodak or something?
Kodak Black. Kodak Black.
Yeah, did you see what he said about dark skinned women?
No, I don't pay attention to him.
Um, well, he said that he really didn't like dark skinned women. He preferred light skinned women, or I forgot what other women that he said he preferred. And a lot of black women was tripping, but I felt like this. Look, if that's what he like, they can have him. Because I really don't think, because you know what was so stupid about it? Because you could be a chocolate woman and give birth to a light skinned daughter. You could be a light skinned black woman and give birth to dark skinned children. Okay, look at my complexion and look at yours. I'm a chocolate woman and you're a lighter skinned black woman.
Hmm.
So his logic is stupid because when we have babies, because our race was all messed with, went back in the day, you sometimes you could be surprised. You could be two dark skinned people and you could have a light skinned baby, and the other way around. Look at our grandmother. She got 12 kids and they are all different shades of the rainbow, and she is a chocolate woman. His logic is so stupid. I wanted to read through. I don't know who raised him, but they didn't do their job when it came to him. He got some self-hatred going on.
Yeah.
He basically says something like he doesn't like women that are his color, that we're all ghetto. People, like his color are ghetto, and light skinned women are, I think he said, a little easier to deal with. They're softer, their personalities are this and that. And I was like, you know what? He sound like a damn fool. I don't even know why people are getting upset, because he's a damn fool. And I think he's only like 20 or 21 years old. He got a lot of life to live, you know? He got a lot of life to live. And right now, he just a young man talking shit, you know.
I hope he grows out of that though. Because if he has kids, he's gonna be raising the next generation, and he
You
should
said if he has kids, what?
he's gonna be putting that into the next generation.
If it's in him, I really don't know. And then I don't know who these light skinned women are messing around with him. This crazy ass. It's somebody said it's some internalized stuff going on with him. Yeah, he got some self-hatred, and I don't know if he was raised in a family that constantly talked about light skin and dark skin. And it sounds so ignorant, because to the outside world we're all just black. It doesn't matter to them
Right?
how light we are.
Up here, I've been mistaken for other things. Like they'd be like, "Oh, are you this? Are you that?" I'm like, "No, I'm black." And then my other
Really?
yeah, then my other friends, they're darker too, and they've been mistaken for other things. Or as black, and they're not black.
I
So
know when I was younger, people used to be asking me, was I Jamaican?
hmm
Well, they said I had a slight accent. I was like, what? Whatever.
right,
I if you talk to me on the phone now, if I'm at work and I got my phone voice on, like I was raised right with correct grammar and all that stuff, maybe they might have thought it. When I'm just talking, speaking in my regular, I guess you would call it round the way girl voice, then I'm black. But when I'm at work, I can turn it on because I was taught how to speak correctly. So I be,
Coach.
I be phonied in the mug.
Yeah,
You gotta make that money, so you gotta know when you can speak in your round the way girl voice. But that's why I said I don't want any more of those jobs where I gotta be all that. I just want to be myself when I go to work. Yeah, but he's a damn fool, and he got a lot to learn. I don't know, But this is the world we live in, and this is these young folk. Amber, did you watch BET
Yeah, I watched Bruno
thing?
Mars.
You watched the show, the war show?
Yeah, I watched Bruno Mars's.
I didn't watch all that shit. The only thing that I watched was I taped it and then I just zoomed through and watched the parts that I wanted to watch. Pretty much I only watched New Edition. They were good. I really liked all that, but the what was the reunion of Escape was, oh my god, they sounded like me and you singing, me, you and Scott.
We tear down the house, man.
Huh?
Yeah, we tear down the house.
No, they sounded terrible, girl. They it was dragging. The two sisters sounded good, but they oversang Candy. Basically, the two sisters really don't need Candy and what's the other little girl named Tiny. They really don't need them. But I don't think that the music world we live in, they don't value people with good voices anymore, so is they're never going to have a career because if you're not in the candy cutter mode that they have, they want everybody to be like Beyonce. You know, they just they want everybody to be like Beyonce. And he said Candy sucked ass. She was like, she had a deep voice. I was like, what the what the hell is going on with her voice? And then too, I think they should have not came on there with all that tight shit on. They're moving into middle age. Although they looked cute, a couple of them, but point you gotta leave it alone and dress your age. Like I think what Tiny had on would have looked cute on somebody that's your age. But I think when you got kids and you at the age where you possibly could be having some grandkids, then you don't need to be wearing all that stuff. And I think they had on corsets and girdles and it had sucked in all their breath and they couldn't get it out. That shit was funny. You know me, Amber. I was cracking up. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Why do they sound like that? Now I'm telling you, the two sisters, they sounded okay. Basically, the girl that used to be fat, the least, the one that should be the lead, she to me she sounded the same. But the other ones, they could have need some work. I said that they need to be in the gym and they need to sing while they're working out so they can learn how to breathe and because they were fine when they were sitting down, but when they got up and was trying to dance around, I was like, no, y'all need to sit down because this is not working. But yeah, you're right. It's not about music. It is okay. Like last night, you know how Amber on, I'll sit and I listen to music.
Mhm.
Last night I was sitting and listening to, now Sonia, I don't know how old you are, but I was listening to the Dramatics. Well, let me, I almost choked to death. I don't know what's going on. But I was listening to my little old school music. And that's another time after I got finished listening to it, I was sad because I was like, God, why do people not sing? Why do they not? Um, he said they need a Jenny Craig makeover. Oh my God. Yeah. Now they could be a little chubby. It does, because everybody is not slim, but quit trying with the outfits when you know you got a little weight on you. If you gotta have corsets and waist trainers and girdles and having these power bras on, you might not be able to sing because you're gonna be stuffed in and you're gonna be breathless. And I think that's what the problem was. And also I think too they need oh, she 33, she a little bit older than Scott. Yeah, I think they needed some more practice, be in a group and playing with their voices and see what works and all that. And then they need to also stop trying to out sing each other because at one part it just sounded like they were hollering and screaming. Tummy trainers and then try to sing, yeah, I don't know, they were breathless. But yeah, the best part of it to me, I'm older. And I really wasn't into New Edition when I was younger because Basically, New Edition is almost like, let's see, for Sharice's age and Kevin's age, those are my sisters and brothers. They're younger than me. I'm the oldest. These people don't know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I like some of their songs, but it wasn't like I was into them when I was younger. But when I watched that music show, to me, they were the best. Did you see their little thing? Amber, did you watch the movie? Their movie?
No, I didn't.
See, the reason why I liked it is because they had a movie and then they had the cast of the movie, in their little tribute thing. And it was just really nice the way they did it. And they have matured and I like them now, even though I wasn't really into them when I was younger. Because the stuff that they allowed to be played out in the movie, that's what made the movie good. Because like I didn't know one of them was on drugs. I didn't know that in the beginning when they first started they didn't want the other people. They just wanted Ralph. I always knew Bobby was a fool. Y'all, speaking of Bobby, what the hell did he have on his shoulders? He had a piece of fur, Amber. He like a goddamn fool.
I didn't even.
I was cracking up. He had on a suit. Okay, imagine a white suit, and it's like somebody pinned a piece of fur on his shoulder. People were like that he had went and got one of Whitney's old furs and had it cut down and threw it up on his shoulders. Then he didn't even stay on the stage and sing with them the whole time. I think he said Pimp Chronicles. He like a old what my friends say, an old player. He was an old player and couldn't even stand there and sing the songs. Bobby can't dance and sing now. When he was singing Mr. Telephone Man, I was like, get him an inhaler. He was breathless and bloated and, shit going on. He couldn't, like a pimp. That shit was funny. Soon as I looked down the line, I was like, what do Bobby got on? He always tried to be extra, though. Bobby did. Um, and that's why they kicked his ass out the group, because he was extra. But yeah, that was funny. But these shows, because they don't have like real singers and stuff, it's not. I guess for your generation, Amber, it might be. What do you think of it?
I think it depends on what you like to listen to because yeah, what's on the radio isn't that great, but like Adele and some other people, like those people, like you have to look for singers. It's definitely not as many as there used to be.
See, it's what it is. Is back in the day, they had a whole bunch of people that can actually sing. See, these people now are not true singers; they're performers, and there's a difference. When you go see like, and I know Sonia, this is like way before your time, but I remember when I was about 20 years old, about your age, Amber, and I remember I went to a concert, an old school concert with Nana and them, because it was like my aunts and my older cousins and stuff. And I think we went to go see the stylistics, the dramatics, I don't know, it was like that whole review. And I was sitting there thinking, Lord, what is these old people gonna be singing? But I was so surprised that like when they came out, when I say they tore it up, and that began my love of old school music. Because when I went with Nana and them, I was like, these singers sound just like the records, and records, like I remember when I was younger, I went to see Whitney Houston. I always tell this story, and when I tell you she sound better than the record, she sounds so good that you don't even want to talk when you're there because you don't want to miss anything that she's singing. It's a difference when, like, I tell my kids this, and I know y'all, I don't know, Amber, if you like Beyonce, but I want to see Beyonce when they're doing like a 50-year tribute to her. I want to see her sliding all on the floor and shaking her ass and all that stuff because she's going to look stupid. She 50, 60 years old, you know, and she got to go back out and sing her song. Like, picture how they have Gladys Knight come on, and Gladys Knight will do like a medley of all of her songs.
Yeah.
Picture Beyonce in her 70s now. Picture Beyonce at 70 saying, looking over her shoulder, popping her ass. Picture that. With all the other songs she have. Think of all those songs, because it's going to be a point when she going to be the old bitch in the club, pretty much. And she's going to look really stupid. So what's going to happen is she's going to have to just stand there and sing, because she's not going to be young and, you know, going to be able to slide all on the floor and popping her ass and, you know, swinging from shit. That's when the true your voice comes out. Because like last night I was watching of Gladys Knight now, and her songs any different than what she sang on when she was younger. Actually, her voice is still as powerful. And of all the people, you know, I told you, I would, if somebody got me some tickets to go see her, I would be, that is one singer that I have never seen, and I would love to see her in person. I think she came to Columbus one time, but I think I had just had surgery and I couldn't go. Remember?
Yeah.
I was sad. I tried to get you and Scott to buy me a ticket. I think I was off work, and y'all were like, "Mom, what, you going by yourself?" I was like, "Look, it's Gladys Knight," but I think I had just had surgery and I couldn't go, and I
Yes.
was all depressed. Yeah, she is the singer that of all the singers that I would love to see. I've been to a whole bunch of concerts though, but I wouldn't go see some of these people if they were singing in my kitchen for free. I wouldn't go. I, I would be like out of the house while they were giving a he said she's not that good of a singer to me. Beyonce is a performer. I would not take that from her. She is a performer. But all this, what do my brother call these singers now? Attack of the Nose singers. They got too many runs. You know, after a while, you're like, oh my God. I don't think she's an this one person said, I don't think she has extraordinary vocals. No, but I think she can sing, and she has this insane ability to sing and dance simultaneously. But that's what this generation is. It's the dancing. They're concentrating on the performance and not the voice. And unless you grew up with real singers, you don't get what we're saying. It's fine that she could dance and sing at the same time, but there comes a point when she's not going to be able to do that, and she's going to have to rely solely on her vocals. You know, so DJ Wolf, you know what I'm talking about. When you can sing, and I don't mean like SING, I mean SANG. When you can sing, then you could just say. Um, I'll tell you someone who I do think can throw down, and she's of this generation, and that's Fantasia. She can sing. Fantasia, you notice when they do any type of tribute to an older singer, they go get Fantasia because she can sing. And for Fantasia's now can, because Fantasia hailed from the church, she could take it to church. Fantasia can make you cry, and then also she can take, like they went and got her for Shaka Khan, they went and got her for Patti LaBelle, they went and got her because Fantasia is the only one that can bring that voice, but she can stand up and sing these foo-foo songs, but she actually has a voice, you know. So I don't know, I'm from a different generation, so I sit and watch Beyonce and I'm like, she's cute, she can dance, she is she is what they want all of these female singers to be now. And that's all I can say about her. I really, because I notice when you do discuss her, people get very upset because she is the diva of for today's world. DJ Wolf, don't you know that Beyonce is just Shaka Khan for this generation? People look at Shaka Khan now and they don't realize what Shaka Khan used to be. But the difference also is Shaka Khan can actually sing too. So I don't know. Let's leave Beyonce alone before some of the beehive come in here and buzz me on off of YouTube. People hate when you talk about that. I'm gonna call her a heifer too. People hate when you talk about that heifer because the people. I swear to God, it's like Beyonce done put something in her songs because these people be riding for her like she's a family member. It's like I don't love people like that. Where when somebody is talking about her, they get all upset. So let me get off of her. What's going on in the world?
Hey, Mom.
Huh?
I think I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Well, hell with you.
I'm sorry.
You going to sleep?
Yeah, probably.
See you, Amber. Get off my YouTube. Everybody say goodbye to Amber. She's getting off so she can hang out with her boyfriend. I know Ryan told you to get off. See you, Am.
Bye.
Bye. Sometimes it's awkward when she's on because your kids have one perception of you. They don't have I don't think they see me. What I tell them all the time is that they see me as mom, but they don't see me as a person, if that makes sense to y'all. They don't know that once upon a time I was them. They just see me as the person that has raised them and took care of them and who get them some money and listen to their problems and all that kind of stuff. Nobody wants to talk. Do y'all want me to put the link in? Because I hate when I'm here talking to myself. If you click on the link, you can come in and talk. Because it's weird just sitting up talking by myself. But yeah, tonight I was bored. I've had my daughter and my son here, so I've been busy with them lately. But she went home, as you can see, and her roommate has left the place a hot mess. So that's what we're talking about. Now, Sonia, you said that you're 33. You're around the age of my son. My son is 30, but he likes all kind of music. He even likes stuff that, I didn't even dream that he would like, being a young black male. But it like I'll get in his car and he's playing music that I'm like, oh, you know this song, or I didn't think you would like stuff like that. In other words, I thought he was only into rap, but he likes all kind of music. What y'all want to talk about here? It's like 9 people here. I can't even see who all the people are. Let me see if I can see who else is here. Uh-oh. Let me pop this back in so I can see who else is here. What y'all want me to talk about here tonight? Other than, what was the little guy we were talking about, Kodak Black, and y'all crazy president. I can't even call him president. I call him 45. Oh, you sing and play the guitar? All right, girl. You need to go on one of these shows that they have. And then I could say, I knew you when. when you become famous and you're on stage singing and playing your blues, I could say I knew you when. So do you like old school music since you like blues and stuff? Because that's really um he just trumped to me. I don't even call me and my friends for some reason we don't even call him that. Like Bush, I called him Bush. I don't know why, but I call President Obama President Obama. I never just called him Obama. I put the president in front of it. But this man, I cannot believe y'all. Y'all don't understand when I say. She said, Ebro. Y'all just don't understand how I cannot believe this man is our president. Like the night that he got, that he got elected. Y'all know that was right after my damn house had burnt down. I mean, it was the exact day that my damn house burnt down. I was sitting over my mother's house. My mother was done. You know how older people can't take it. I was laughing and she was mad at me. Her and her sister were on the phone talking. But my mother was so mad that like she didn't know what to do with herself. And you know how old people be fidgeting. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. She was cleaning up her house stuff, cleaning out the refrigerator. I was like, are you so mad that that you can't even sit down? She was like, we in trouble, girl. You don't know. I was like, well, we not in trouble tonight. You can go on in there and sit down in your rocking chair. You don't got to be running around the house cleaning up and stuff. But my mother, it take my mother to talk about him. She hates him. I just think that I cannot believe we elected this man. Well, I didn't vote for him. But in the town that I live in, I live like close to southern Ohio. And y'all, it's a whole bunch of people from West Virginia and Kentucky here. And this is definitely the red area where I live at. It's not blue. These are some Republican loving fools down here. And they love this man. Not far from where I live at, I was driving one time and I saw a Trump like was where they go and it's like an election office. I don't know, they call it a precinct office. I don't know what they call it. I almost had an accident. I was like, what the hell? Now I know that's wrong because they get all of these little Democrat, they had all these little Hillary offices around too. But I was surprised that this Trump office was like within 5 or 10 minutes from my house. And then down here you see people riding with those Confederate flags. Y'all, one time I got lost coming from Cleveland. I was gonna drive back roads, back country roads. When I tell y'all I was lost, I was so lost, it wasn't even funny. My GPS wasn't working. I was out in the middle of cornfields. Now this one I knew that I was really lost. And y'all, I was crying. I ain't gonna lie. I was crying because I thought that if it got dark, I was going to possibly be swinging from a tree or taped up on a burning cross. I started seeing all these Confederate flags. I started crying. I'm not going to lie. I was like, where the hell am I? Well, Lord, it's 7 o'clock. It's going to be dark in 2.5 hours. I got to find my way. But I think what happened is because I was way out in the country and they don't have a lot of cell towers, my GPS on my cell phone was not working. Lord, I was praying all the way. I had to pull over and like get my bearings and like I'm going south. I gotta concentrate and find the road so I can get back out of these damn cornfields and out the country before it get dark and I'll be strung up somewhere. I left. I ain't even gonna tell y'all how long I was lost because it's embarrassing, but just suffices to say I will never try to like go for a country drive again ever in life. But what are y'all saying? You said other countries are shaking their heads. Yeah, we're the laughing stock. Would have been crying and praying too. I don't mess around. Now, I was trying to explain to another YouTuber that is like, I come from Cleveland where it's very segregated. Like the white people live in one area, Puerto Ricans live over here, black people live over here. And certain neighborhoods you don't go in because they're subject to whoop your ass. So you just know, at least when I was growing up, there were certain areas that you just literally could not go in. So when I moved to Columbus, and here they're all mixed in, like it's not segregated at all, and it was weird to me. And it took me a minute to get with this, because like my kids, oh, hey, she's on here, you can talk too.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
How's it going?
It's good. It's glad to see somebody that was brave enough to talk. But yeah, I was saying that like where I live at is all mixed in. So I grew up with one reality and my kids are growing up with another reality. Like, and this is weird, and I shouldn't have asked them this, and it took me a long time to stop asking them this. Like they would want to have people over, and because they had all these white friends, I would ask them like, oh, are they black or white? Not that it made a difference, because I would have let the child come over regardless, because my kids called them friend. So I had asked my kids this enough where one day my daughter was like, why do you always ask that, Mom? Why does it matter what color they are? And it kind of shamed me, because I had to realize that their reality is not my reality. And but this is a weird city down here, because they all get along. I mean, really get along. It's nice though, because my kids have grown up with not the hangups that I have about race. I mean, I think they're going to eventually get a wake up call, but for now they have not. And it's weird. Sonia, you say you're from California?
I live in Richmond, but I grew up in Maryland.
Oh, you live in Richmond, Virginia?
No, Richmond, California.
Oh, Richmond, California.
Yup.
Oh, oh, you a long way. So you're what, 5 hours behind us or 3 hours? What time is it there?
It's about to be 11 at night.
So you're about 2 or 3 hours behind us. We're on Eastern Standard Time. You're on what, Mountain Time?
Pacific Standard.
Pacific, yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, we're up late because here it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
When I saw the title of your video, I was like, "Yep, me too. I'm bored. Let's see what the conversation's about."
I was sitting here and I was like, okay, this is 4th of July weekend. I know I should be out, but I don't feel like going out, but I'm bored at home. You know how it's like you should be out, because when I went out a little while ago, it was like a whole bunch of traffic. I was like, people are out and about. I don't feel like being out and about, but when I sit at home, I'm bored.
Yeah. It's my first time
So,
using this Hangout thing.
I have been trying. My kids think I'm funny because I have tried this several times and I never get it right. I don't know what happened tonight where I actually
That's so
can
cool.
talk to. Yeah, that's what my daughter was saying. Where I actually can talk to people. And what I did is I used my daughter as like a guinea pig. I said, come on and let me see if we can talk, or is it just the chat? Oh, someone else is here. Mario. I'm trying to get people to talk because it's fun. It's weird when I'm just talking and nobody else is talking.
My mom is 72 and she just learned how to use Facebook, so she calls me a lot to ask me how to do things, but now she texts, now she can FaceTime, like she's just on a roll.
Oh, my mother will not even, like, we set her up a Facebook page, but She calls it the Facebook. She's in her 70s too. She won't go on there. She actually believes that people can see her. Like I went over one time and she had her laptop open and it was tape across the screen. So
For privacy.
I was sitting there, I was like, you know how you don't want to just come out and say what's going on. I
Yeah.
asked her if she's okay. I said, why do you have tape across the camera? And she was like, well, I was watching Dateline and they said, or like one of those shows, and they were saying that they can see you, so I don't want when I have my laptop open people to see me. And I was like, who looking at you? You don't even go on stuff, you just, I think my mother does know how to go on YouTube though. She does, but she doesn't watch my videos, thank God, because I did one video about her that if she ever sees, you'll never hear from me again. Oh, he said he like how I keep it 100. And she said, this girl said she's 48. You think I keep it 100? I don't think that I'm actually being myself when I'm on YouTube. Sometimes when you come on here, well, in my case, sometimes I'm not always being 100 as you think, because a lot of times I'll do topics and I don't really give my real opinion. I try to stay safe. Do you know it's a helicopter flying over my house? Can you hear it in the background?
No.
Yeah, it's a helicopter flying over. But yeah, I don't think that always when I'm doing videos that I actually give my real opinion. I think I play it safe and I'm on the fence. I try to see both sides of a situation, which one YouTuber said that I should just, if I don't like it, just be. See, I think when you stay on the fence, you get more responses.
It's true.
it's it's only been a couple videos that I actually told my real opinion of stuff. You would be surprised because y'all would be cracking up if you hear some of my real opinions. Yeah.
You know that video you
Queen.
did about well, I'm sure you've done several, but about the police brutality, and
Uh-huh.
you started going into a story that happened to you. I was not expecting that
Oh,
story.
the one where the police officer said I ran the light and he.
Yeah, my heart
Yeah,
stopped. I was like, "Whoa," because that story came out of nowhere for me, and I was like, "Wow, that just
I
hit
never.
home."
I've never had another experience like that, but that was like when I
My
was
God.
okay, just on. She was about 8 months old, maybe a little bit older. And yeah, that happened, and I was not expecting it either. It scared the out of me. I
One time, I have immigrant parents, and their first language is Spanish. So one time when I was
uh-huh.
about, I think I was like 10 or 11, we got pulled over for some reason. And the cop thought my dad did something, but my dad was like trying to explain what happened. And the thing is, like, as
Uh-huh.
an immigrant kid, you just jump in and start like interpreting automatically because
Right.
that's what you just do. So I just jumped in and started explaining to the cop what my dad was saying, and he yelled at me and he told me like, "I'm not talking to you," or whatever. It was
Oh
like,
my God.
I sat down and I was like really scared. I was like, holy shit, like I was just trying to help. And my it was, I forgot what it was, but it was, my dad explained like why he did what he did, and it was like okay, and we were off on our way. But I remember that like it was yesterday. I was like, my
You
God.
know something I noticed, and I don't like this. I don't know what you are, but I notice here we have a lot of Mexicans. And to me, like I had Mexicans living across the street from me. They moved in after I had been living there for quite a few years. And they bought this house that was right across the street. Now, before they moved in, the house just looked okay. They had been living there about 3 months, and that house was the best looking house on the street when they finished with it. They painted it. They redid the yard. They took out windows and put in like bigger windows where the whole front of the house was little. All they did was work, come home, and stay to themselves. They didn't bother anyone. And I actually, my kids befriended them. And I don't even know how, because their kids spoke Spanish and they didn't really speak English. But my
Mm.
kids would be over there talking to them. And I think what eventually happened is like they taught my kids some enough Spanish where they can hang out and understand each other. Because like at the time, my daughter was 8, and I
Oh.
was like, I was asking her, I said, if the little girl doesn't really speak English well, how are you speaking to her? And so my daughter was like, Mom, we're just playing Barbies. It's really nothing to say. You gotta, yeah, she was like, you got some clothes, I got some clothes, let's switch these clothes. She was like, let's take off these clothes and put it. And I was like, well, let me stay out of it. You know, they're seeming to get along. But I think that because of Trump, that a lot of people that even speak a different language are being treated wrong really badly. Like our neighbors next door were Asian, and it was like 3 generations. Because I noticed when it's people of other races, a lot of like they'll have their 3 generations living in a house. It'll be like the children, the parents, and the grandparents. And that was the same way with the Mexicans that lived across the street. Hell, I liked both of them. I I didn't think of them as different. We all got along, but and I noticed too that like if you would go over there and the kids would come out and you go to speak to their parents, they would start talking for the parents,
Hmm.
because I think it was like to them, we were talking too fast, and they may not have caught everything. So they may not understand everything that we were saying because, we're talking too fast. We're Americans, we're English. So,
Right.
but I noticed those kids jump in and they help out. The police, now it's crazy. How old were you when that
I
happened?
think I was like around like 11 or so, and that was in Maryland.
Wow. Did they and I remember one time here in Columbus, this Mexican guy, he had pulled up in front of the store, and you know how like there's an area where it says don't park here. Well, I think he was just waiting for his wife. The police pulled up behind him and they told him to move, and he was saying that he was trying to explain, I'm just waiting for my wife. They got out and they basically pulled him through his window. I was sitting there,
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
oh my God. Now
That
this
is
was
so
about
disgraceful.
12 years ago, and where we really weren't with our phones. you know
Yeah.
I don't even think phones could video anything back then. But yeah, they whooped him up real fast. I was like, why did they need to beat him up? Because when they were talking to him, I just heard him yell out, I know my rights. So I don't know what they were saying to him. And next thing I know, they pulled him through the window and proceeded to whoop him up. Now he had kids in the back seat.
Oh my God. How
They were
traumatic.
Yeah, they were crying. It was really bad. It was really bad. But right now, in the if something like that happened to me now, what happened to me that I described on that video, I think I would have a heart attack because I would be so scared
Yep.
that they would shoot us.
Yep.
See, back then, other officer saved us because
Yeah.
I
Oh
believe,
yeah.
yeah, I believe if that had been allowed to go on, I may not be sitting here today. Yeah, I may not,
They stepped
because
in
he
because they
was,
knew what was up. They stepped in.
they knew it was wrong. Yeah, they
Yep.
knew that they could tell that what I was saying was true, that he ran the red light or he was making an illegal turn, an illegal left turn, and he turned right in front of me. And like if I had hit him, what he would
No.
have done. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think about that now, it still makes my heart race. That is,
It when
that
you
is
came out with that story, I was like, I had my heart in my throat.
Yeah, even when I think about it now, and that my child was in the back seat in a, in a car seat, and they were trying to get my husband to, to get out the
Mhm.
car.
Mhm.
I was like, when cop had his hand on his gun when I gave him, oh my God. Now my son has had several instances where, like I said, we live in a very diverse neighborhood, and he was walking home from work at 10 o'clock at night, 16-year-old boy. Police followed him all the way to our driveway.
Oh
I
my
didn't even
God.
know the police were out there. They were yelling. My son was yelling, and he was asking them, why are they following him? And when we did, this was my son's first experience with the police, and when he got in the house, we had to explain to him, you can't be yelling at them. I mean, I know you were in the right, but they will blow your brains
Yep.
out and say that you were doing
And
something,
and
even though
fucking
you
get
was.
away with it.
Yes, he didn't. I i don't know. I don't know if it's he felt we let him feel safe. But that day was the first time that we had the talk with him about the police and what they will do to you. Yeah. They follow him. Like, he worked on the corner of our street at a pizza place. Literally, it took him 5 or 10 minutes to walk home. That's how close he was to home. And he was 16. So when he would get off work, he would just walk home. And I guess they saw this black boy walking through the neighborhood, and they started following him, and they followed him all the way to the driveway. And I remember, even though I didn't go get him for work, around 10 o'clock or 10:15, when I knew he should be walking in, you know how you wait to hear his key turn in the door. So this night, I just heard all this yelling in the driveway. And I was like, what is going on? And so when I went out there, he was like, what do you want? Why are you following me?
Oh
I
my
haven't been.
God.
And then he said the F, like, why are you
They're terrorizing
fucking
him.
following me? And so then I was like, oh my God. So I ran down the driveway, and I was pulling him like, come on, let's go in the house. What's going on? And then he was like, Mom, why are they following me? And he was like, shining flashlights in my face and stuff. And that's when I told him, I was like, man, you cannot be yelling at the police. That is not a good thing. They will jack you up. And he did. It took him years to believe it. The next time he had an encounter, he believed it. He drove this old van. Have you ever watched Scooby Doo?
Mm-hmm.
And the little beat up van that they
Yep.
used to
Yep.
drive. Well, my son had a van like that. It was so ugly that I used to tell him, "Can you pull that all the way to the back of the driveway?" But he was driving his little van. He was coming from work, and they pulled him over. Like they did, he said they will pull him over every other night. So this one night they pulled him over, and because he doesn't have any record, anything, he told me they made him get out the van. They handcuffed him and put him on the curb.
Oh my God.
They searched his car, and he had his iPad sitting on the seat. When they were throwing everything out, he thought that they broke his iPad, but basically what they did is they broke the case that it was in. And then when he starts to tell me the story, you could tell that, hey DJ,
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey.
you finally made
I
it in.
finally made it in. How y'all doing? Everything's good.
We're good. Yeah, I was just telling her about an experience my son had where he finally, police will jack him up. Because after they searched his van and threw all this stuff out, he told me, he said, Mom, they roughed me up a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, they kind of roughed me up. And I was like, are you okay? And you could tell he was about to cry. He was like 18 or 19. And they jacked him up. Sad. Well, I tell you this, he was working. He worked for another week. And then he was like, I'm not working out anymore. Because they were pulling him over like every 2 days. Or following
Your
their
son?
car. Yeah, my son.
Oh my God.
That's how it is.
Where was this at?
I told him that's the curse of being a young black male.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all know this. Yes.
What part of was this? Ohio?
We live in Columbus.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, we live in Southern Ohio, and he works like in this swanky suburb.
Uh-huh.
And he used to get off at midnight.
Right.
And he said, like, when soon as I wish he was here to tell the story, because he was getting all these tickets. And I was like, as a mother, I kept on saying, no, you got to be doing something. It's the reason why you're tickets. But then when he started everything and how the police were harassing him, and he told me, Mom, I'm afraid, I'm scared. And he told me about that. It's just when they pulled him over and they picked him up. And he asked me, could I drive him to work for the last 2 weeks that he was going to work there. Now look, that bothered me. I would go pick. He would drive over to our house, leave his van here, and then I would take him to work, and then go pick him up. That's how scared he was to drive. He worked there 2 more weeks, and then he got another job. And then when he left, I asked him why he left, and he said, Mom, I think that if they had kept following me, I would be dead. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they had a couple of incidents right out here in PG County, Maryland, because I stay right from the jail. And there was a young man, I think he was in his 20s, and I don't remember what he got stopped for, but all I know is that they hung him, and he was found hung dead in the cell. This happened a couple of times out here, and I've been out here for.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it didn't make national headlines though. It was you heard about it locally, but nationally it wasn't. They didn't make a big dust up about it though.
I think like let me send to this person a link. Somebody got a link. They gotta mute their yeah, I think that when you are, and it's just not young black male, when you are a male of color, you have got to I think how they treat Mexicans here, and all Mexicans are not bad, just like all black people are bad.
Right.
And a lot of times, as a black person, when I watch how bad they treat the Mexicans in Columbus, it breaks my heart, for them.
Also there was another incident that just happened right here in DC about a week ago. It was 3 young men. I guess they were selling water. I don't know if you heard about it. It eventually did.
I saw that.
They got arrested. They're just selling water, because they didn't have a license, but the cops felt, where our safety might be compromised. I'm like, well, all the people around there in DC in the middle of the day, down there in the mall, you gotta be kidding me. They had nothing to worry about. That was a bunch of BS.
That's humiliating for no reason.
They were harassing them.
Yeah, they were being.
Yeah, they were harassing them. And that's why I have to keep telling my son over and over, and he's 30 now, because his friend told me that he was like, I don't go anywhere with your son, and I don't know why. He said, because by us being young black guys, we always get pulled over. And he said, your son always is running his mouth, challenging the police. And I was like, what? And he told me, he said, yeah, he's always talking about his rights and all this stuff. And I told him, I said, you can be right, and he did.
I had to talk to my son about that a while back, because he told me he had talked to a cop for trying to stop speeds as well. He did the same thing. I said I had to talk about that to him, because he can get a little on the heated side too. Matter of fact, a cop just stopped me in Alexandria about a month ago. I just paid the ticket off. I get ready to go to the Beltway, coming back home to Maryland, and it was on the one. Technically, I was wrong, but I really wasn't. Now they have a sign up there that said you can't make a turn on a red light. Well, you can't turn at all from 3 to 7. on a one-way street. Now, the one-way street is going one direction, so there's no other traffic going the opposite direction to make the same turn you're making. So they can't actually come across the opposite way from you. That street only goes one way. So I went way on the green light, and the cop was sitting on the left side of me. He could just say, "You can't turn here; just go straight." And I didn't pay attention to it, so I actually made the right turn on the green light, and then he pulled me over. And I'm like, "This is ridiculous! You telling me from 3 to 7, even though it's a green light, on a one-way street, I can't make a right turn." In other words, if I come up to the light, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So the dumb part, you come up to the stoplight, right? And it says you cannot make a turn 3 to 7 on the green light.
Hey, Misha.
We can hear you.
DJ Wolf, do you have your volume turned down? You gotta mute your volume on YouTube. Like you hit that button on your volume. Yeah, I just think, like, if you are a young man of color in today's world, I don't care what. If you're Black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, you gotta be careful. You just got to be careful. And then even with that, sometimes you could be careful and still have stuff happen. It's just the world we live in. And then Donald Trump is stirring up all this crazy stuff too.
Yeah, I heard about you guys hear about the 18-year-old girl? I guess she was driving and a white guy just pulled her over and shot her to death.
I saw that.
Yeah, shot her head.
She just graduated from high school. Yeah. I saw that. Did they find him yet?
Last I checked, they got a description of him, but I don't think they found him. This was last night.
I don't think they're going to find him. Because his description can fit anybody.
Right, exactly. Also, I heard that there was something about the NRA, because they're actually their headquarters is based right here in Virginia, and they are offering their members murder insurance.
Murder insurance?
I shit you not. I just heard about that yesterday too.
What does that mean? What is murder insurance?
I think that they're offering insurance for like for shootings and stuff like that. I don't know what it says about. I just heard about.
Oh my god!
So I'm gonna try to get some more information on that.
Like if their members murder someone?
Yeah. I just heard about it. That's insane.
That's like, they keep on saying, why didn't they speak up for Philando Castile because he had a legitimate, they weren't going to speak up for him. You know that.
They weren't.
They basically just asked that man for his license, and he was police for it.
Yeah,
I just think that this is the world that we live in, and we're gonna have to learn how to live in it. Because if we don't, we don't get in trouble, and our kids are going to be too. How old is your son?
He'll be 25 in a couple of weeks. I tell him to be careful out there all the time. No matter what he does, no matter where he goes. He actually been living on his own for the last 2 years since he graduated from college. So I just told him, I said, man, and he lives right down there. I said, so man, whatever you do, be careful. Just, stay mindful of what's going on. Be polite to the cops. Put your hands on the steering wheel the moment the cop pull you over. Don't make no sudden move. All the time, even at 25.
Right. And then, this part about us. That's what I'm saying. We can tell all the right things to do, and they can still end up doing. And that's why with my son, with him having a lot of he said very lately he has calmed down. I think what it is more outspoken. And I also think because he grew up in a quote unquote like I did. where we saw police beat up by the police. We saw police, always just standing on the corner, and the police roll up and drive all up on the sidewalk and have all the boys leaning up against the wall, and they haven't done anything with that reality. So he has this thing where I didn't even why would you come bother me? And I was like, I'm just whether you were doing anything.
Wow.
So even talking about it now, it makes me want to find him and go slap the shit out of him.
But
even thinking about how he won't listen to me. He's 30 years old. I swear to God, I want to end this broadcast. Go to his house to slap the hell out of him.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, they do have insurance now, because I'm reading something about it on their site. It says without insurance, lawful self-defense can cost a fortune. So yeah, it's almost like they're gearing these guys up to just do what the hell they want to do. Yeah, it's directly on the NRA site.
What?
Yeah, there is insurance that they offer, some kind of liability insurance the NRA offers to their members.
This is I'm telling you, it's crazy.
They've never offered anything like that before, but now they are. Yeah.
I've heard of this, and then like it's under our noses.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and you can tell because because I work in the office myself, and you can tell sometimes even with the white females I talk to, they're very staunch Trump supporters. Trump can do no wrong no matter what you tell them about. And one time she started a female coworker of mine was talking about welfare moms, all that stuff, and I'm about to pop her in the face. Now I might say something about it myself personally, but I ain't gonna let no white person talk about my people bad in front of me. That's not right. I'm gonna like somebody there or something.
What were they saying?
But yeah, they have insurance now for people who are gun owners. It's called.
What was the white person at the job saying?
Basically, she was trying to defend some of the things that Trump stand for, and I'm trying to think. It was something to do about him getting rid of. Remember, he was talking about getting rid of welfare.
Yeah.
It was something. It was something along that line. We were talking about it, and I mean, it just. It just got under my skin,
Well, I'm gonna tell you in this I had at work one time. I was sitting in a group of white people, like I always am. I'm the only. My daughter calls it being the only chocolate chip in the bag.
Right.
So I was the only chocolate chip in the bag. This white woman talking about how those poor inner city kids. They've gone to those inner city schools. They grew up in homes without a maybe father there. And then she goes on and explaining all this stuff. And she was like, what do they have for the future? I mean, where will they, can they get jobs and all this stuff? And I said, you just describe me. I said, I grew up in the inner city. I went to public schools in the inner city. My inner city ass is sitting right here with you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, now you say you grew up in the suburbs, family home. But you sitting right here with me.
Right, exactly.
And then her face got all red, and I said, you never know who you're talking to. And I told her, I said, just because a person comes from a certain considered ghetto, doesn't mean that they have ghetto mentality, and the people that raised them have ghetto mentality, And after that, she didn't speak to me no more. I don't let them say crazy stuff to me.
I hear you. But yeah, like I said, my sister, she's up there this weekend. She's matter of fact, she's been there since Tuesday. And my niece, who just turned 30 back in November, decided she wants to move back to Cleveland from Florida. And I'm still trying to. My wife and I was talking about. I was like, really? You really want to move back to Cleveland as messed up as Cleveland is now? But my sister was saying, yeah, she's going to try it for about a couple of months. She's going to stay with my mother for a while, and then I guess she will.
I had considered it like a couple years ago. When my kids have moved out, like I said, my brother owns a house and he was for sure to move up there. You can put your stuff in storage, stock some money, because we were talking about starting this little business. But then I went up there to visit, and I was like, nah, I can't do it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been up there several times last. Because what happened was I left Cleveland in 1986, and I went in the Army because I had a hard time trying to find work after I got out of high school, and I decided to, to do some, really I wanted to do something with my life, and I was having to fall out with my folks and stuff, so I got the hell up out of there, went in the Army, then I got out in '89, and after I got out in '89, I stayed in the DMV because it was a lot of work here. They were hiring I was like, I'm seeing, help wanted everywhere down here. So I said, well, what the heck? I'm gonna start my, my way down here. My dad and I, he got into an argument about it one time. He was like, "You'll need to be alone." I said, "No, I need to be down. I need to be away from all the drama up there and get my life right." You know what I'm saying? So I said, "Forget it." And I've been working ever since. So in a way, I regret not being home around my family, but then again, with the situation with the last 20 years, the best thing I ever did was to stay put right here in DMV, because that's where all the my opportunities was.
I know that. That's what made me leave Cleveland too. I had got laid off, and I was looking for a job. Can y'all hear me? Or is it
No, I hear you.
Okay, yeah, I left because when I was looking for jobs, the only jobs that I was finding I'm in now. So I thought about it, and I was like, well, it's only a few hours drive. It's not like people don't miss me all like that. If they do, they visit us. They need me because I couldn't find a job.
Right.
Oops.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I could have stayed, but you know how you want to give your kids a different type of lifestyle. So I was like, I gotta leave here.
yeah, like I said, I was up there back in April, and I'm gonna tell you, it was a sad state of affairs. I kid you not. Since I've been up there, matter of fact, there was a shooting over there. Patrick Henry Field is, right, where they play the football. Football. Well, I just saw it on the news just earlier this week from the local Cleveland station. There was a shooting right around the football field, and I think they were either practicing or they had a game. I think it was practicing. And here's the weird part about it. No one reported the shooting, but yet they had a rally about it.
Oh my God.
And Patrick Henry, the field over there is right down the street from where I grew up. Yeah, right down the street.
I know that when I'm friends with a lot of people from Cleveland on Facebook, all of the crime that's there. And I know every boy that my son grew up with has either stole from me, been shot, or been in jail. And the sad part about it is when we lived there, because we left in 2004. When we lived there, those were good boys. Matter of fact, they were better behaved and more into school than my son was. And as you start to hear, things that have happened, what my brother said is, if you live in a community where there are no jobs, there's nothing for them to do, they start to get in trouble.
That's true.
And it bears out because there was one boy that was really close to us. And I was going to let him come over here to visit us. I think my son was just about to move out. And my son was telling him, you can come up here, it's a job. I'm about to get my own apartment. I said my son was 21. And he was like, you can come live with me. And I think The boy never came. I think it sounded good to him, but he was caught up in that mentality where, you know, he had heard Columbus was a little country town. What is it to do? And he didn't want to come. And the last I heard, he had been shot. You know, and we're like, oh my God,
Wow. Yeah, I hear you. It's, you know.
so you guys this static that I'm getting?
Yeah, I just heard it just a second ago.
What that?
I don't either. I mean, I'm not even on YouTube. I'm on Google with you right now. So, but
I'm on YouTube.
okay, yeah, because I was on YouTube a second ago and I just logged out of it. But
yeah, maybe this is crazy.
But I can hear you though.
Yeah, I just think like I wonder what the world is going to be like for our kids as they start to get older.
Yeah, I think about that a lot, and I know I used to be a little hard on my son back years ago, but that's because I wanted him not to be one of the little assholes on the streets. You know, and not all of them are like that, but I'm just saying, and just because they act like that don't necessarily mean they're assholes, but they out here trying to survive. But I didn't want my son to have the mentality where he could just pop off and do what he wanted to do. And
that's how it was with my son too. My mother used to tell me that sometimes I was hard on him, but I looked at it this way. And you know, I did a video about this. I said that if I was going to be a single parent, I'm glad that the child that was raised with two people in the house was my son, because I didn't become a single parent until my son was 16. So he actually grew a father.
yeah,
but I wanted him. There still were things that he needed to learn, and the reason why I was hard on him, because like I always tell him, is one day you're gonna be a husband, a father, and all of this, and somebody's gonna be dependent on you. So I wanted him to have, you know, a good heart, but I just wanted him to be a good person. His kids that he grew up with, they didn't turn out so good.
right. Yeah, I know what you mean. And some of the guys he was with that neither, matter of fact. But sometimes you know, like what's that old saying goes, you know, you can't save the world. You know, you try to save the world.
I was telling some of my family members, I was like, when you change where you're, that'll move to where a whole bunch of people care about what's going on around them. Like when I first came to Columbus, I noticed that, like when I went to open house, where in Cleveland, it might be, the parking lot might be half full. Down here, you can't even find a parking space. You parking way down the street from the school and walking up to it because there's so many areas there. What the point I'm trying to make is, when you move around people that care, your kids are around people that are trying and going to college and working. There's stuff to do. You know, it changes their mentality and it makes them want more.
Yeah,
so the whole point is, you got to get them in environments where sometimes not all that crazy stuff is going on.
right. Yeah, that's what I started to do with my son when he was really, he actually showed interest in sports when he was like 2 years old. We used to play baseball, play a little basketball with him when he was about 2 or 3 years old. And when he turned 6, I go ahead, I put him in got him in a boys and girls sports. Well, you know, the boys and girls club. And he had him playing basketball for 2 years, and he played football for like 4 years. And the main thing is, you have to get kids in those positive environments where discipline is part of the process of that role. And that's what I use to help develop him into the young man he is today. And a lot of parents don't bother to take the time to do that.
I'm telling you, and then too, like because I had my son down here. They got a lot of little league and all that kind of stuff. But another thing too, you can't be their friend. And when you do wrong, especially with a boy, I mean that is hard like crazy. One time when my son was about 19, and you know the what is it, the curfew for them at 1 o'clock or something like that. So he kept coming home late. So my brother was like, well, you know, he's trying. So when he comes home, if you tell him you're gonna do something, you gotta do it instead of just fussing at him. So this one night, he brought him home probably like quarter. So I lived in a rent home at the time. He knocked on the window because I had locked the screen, so he can't use his key to come in. So when he knocked on my bedroom window, I was like, hold on. And then what I did is I opened the window, threw him out a can off, a pillow, and a blanket. And he was like, what are you doing? So I was like, oh no, you don't give me to him. And he had a tent back there. So he slept in the tent. And after that, it was so much stuff in that backyard. He was like, because you know, Columbus is a little country town.
Right.
So you get all kind of shit running around. It was not planned.
Yeah, where I'm at now was actually a suburb of Washington D.C. and we've been living out where we at for 14 years. We used to live in an area called District Heights. That was just probably right outside the city of D.C. And we were there for 11 years. It got pretty bad. There were a couple of break-ins. Cars were getting stolen. Some guy hit my wife's car. I went over to confront the neighbor the next day after it happened because he had throw a party. They used to throw wild parties over there. Excuse my French, that Negro wouldn't come out the door. He wouldn't come out to talk to me about it because I knew what happened. We had to call cops. But it was, it's got crazy over there. But when we moved over to where we at now, it's a big difference. Not a lot of drama, but it was as big as night and day. And I think as a result of that, getting my family out that old neighborhood made all the difference in the world for us, and I was able to raise my son better into a better environment.
It's very true because you go back to Cleveland. I know my son was standing with my uncle, and I guess what happened is like this is my brother's house, my uncle over there, and you know how he'll come walk with me, so he had took my son out. So when he came back in, he was like, everybody knew that he wasn't from Cleveland, and I was like, wow. And he said basically the way he be, and he was real quiet. They had to pull a conversation with him. And I was like, well, I don't know. You get them out the neighborhood and get them into some place. But you got to keep them busy. Because I had them. Matter of fact, with my daughter, she was too much. I had to start telling her, girl, if you sign up for it one more thing, I'm going to kill you. Because she was activity out to the point where I felt like her activity was my second job.
It is like a second job. It's true. You come off your job, you're already tired. And then you gotta go get your, like in my case, my wife and I, we had to go pick up my son from school after I get off work, and gotta go get his equipment. Make sure everything, make sure you got enough water in his bottle and all of that stuff, and get him, filled out and all of that, and take him over there to the field and get the park, and then have to go talk to the, other parents, and it's a whole thing. I'll
tell you. Sometimes I used to be going because she played like varsity, whatever. I don't even remember the sport she was playing. It's like baseball, softball. She played softball for the school. Then she played in something. Yeah, she was in everything. It was sometimes I'll be so tired from work. Then you gotta be the down here. They switch up on which parent bring the snacks for the kids. After a while, I feel like and then some of these people take these little league games too seriously.
Yeah,
they act like the kids are playing in the big leagues.
I'm saying it happens all the time. Parents, they would go nuts. I know some parents will complain about, well, you didn't give my son enough time out here to play and blah, blah, blah. But, they usually try to give every kid a chance to play. And some parents felt that their kids were such a superstar that they had to always be playing. And no, and I thought it was BS. So
It was sometimes where, like, my daughter would be playing. It would be so hot outside, I felt like I was dying. I used to be sitting in the car with the air conditioning on. I'd be like, girl, I'm here, but I can't sit out in all that sun. It had got to be ridiculous because you got to race home, get them to these games. And then, see, another thing, too, I don't know if I'm considered, like, for my son, I was considered a young parent. But for my daughter, I wasn't, because all of her friends' parents were younger. Because I was 30. So I would go to, like, you know how they had those little recitals at school and stuff? Man, when I tell you I used to be filming that stuff, cracking up, some of that stuff was so funny to me. See, I guess I'm not a good parent. I'll be sitting there rolling. Some of that stuff was so funny. I could not even help it. The plays and the little recitals, and I was like, Lord, I cannot believe it. 2 hours after I got off work to watch these kids act the fool on stage. It was crazy.
yeah, I'm surprised you didn't put that on YouTube.
Oh no, he wasn't embarrassing me.
Oh my, bad.
Well, one time she was in the talent show and she was heartbroken. Because when she told me she was going to be in the talent show, I was like, oh, okay. I'm glad she ain't don't think that's funny. But she was in the talent show and I'm broke for about 5 minutes. I said, no. You know, Cleveland, so I was sitting there, I was like, no, you about to be jump broken for 5 minutes. Lord.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't on YouTube back then. Yeah, I wasn't on YouTube when she was younger. And I wouldn't have embarrassed her. Maybe some stuff I might have put on there, but some stuff isn't really embarrassing her, it's embarrassing the family.
I remember years ago, this is like about 40 years ago this year, matter of fact. 2 friends mine and myself, we used to have a big show at I used to go to Chesterfield Elementary on 123rd, right, off Superior, back in the 70s. And we did a talent show. And we did a talent show to the Spinners, the Rubber Band, man. That was a hot record at the time. It was like a 2-step that we did. And they had us doing that for weeks up there. It was not only it wasn't just the talent show, they had us doing it for during lunchtime and all of that. It was crazy. But we looked so goofy doing it, though.
You know, a lot of stuff we filmed, like my son had a video camera, and he told me that he still has, but it's an old camera. I don't even know how you would transfer it. I probably seen some of that stuff on videotape that she did. It was hilarious. I don't know. I know one little thing because we had some kids doing cartwheels. I said, no, I can't believe watching this stuff.
Yeah, there is a way you can do it though. I've seen it. There are several sites, and maybe even Amazon or eBay has it, where you actually can transfer stuff from videotapes to a DVD disc. They do have those accessories for that now.
I was able to do this tonight, but on my end, I got all kind of static.
Yeah, I hear it. Do you hear that? Do you hear that on mine?
It's coming from me because when I mute myself, then it's crystal clear. So I don't know if it's something that I have open that needs to be closed, but at least I learned how to do it. I didn't realize that I could get this done. My daughter was like, "You did it. You did it."
Because remember, I tried to get you in there a few weeks ago, and I thought by the time I got to Google Hangouts after I opened up YouTube, you were gone. So I just went ahead and called it a night.
Well, now that I know how to do it, I might try a little more. It was fun. I started off with my child I gotta be, I can't be who I really am with my daughter because she'll be like, Mom. But she just happened to be on, and I'm gonna join you. And I was like, oh Lord. So do you hear all that I'm hearing?
Yeah, I just heard it just now.
This is weird. Well, y'all, thank you for joining me. I'm sleeping now.
Yeah, I'm out because I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready to get my praise on tomorrow. But I just have to see. That's the only reason why I went on here and responded anyway. I said I'll go ahead and talk to my homegirl. So, but I'm glad.
All right, we'll do this another time. It was fun. Thanks to everybody for joining. Y'all have a good night.
All right, you too. Take care. Good night.
Okay, bye-bye.